Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda. If you're new here, know that on this channel you'll find out what it's like to be a disabled military spouse, and you'll also find some disability resources, both for the military community and civilian community. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about an article that I read on a blog called The Mighty. Now, if you haven't heard of The Mighty, it is a community of writers who have different chronic illnesses and disabilities. And the particular article or blog that I would like to talk to you about today specifically pertains to cerebral palsy, which is the condition that I have, one of the conditions that I have. In this particular blog, the writer talks about cerebral palsy not being a progressive condition. She says, rightly so, that medically speaking, cerebral palsy is not progressive. And that is because the condition is a result of a brain injury. And the injury itself stays as it is. When the injury happens, it happens. However much damage is done to the brain is what's done to the brain. However, the writer's point was that while it's true that the condition itself does not progress, our bodies do. And so that gives the impression that the condition does, in some sense, progress. Now, what I wanted to talk about today is my own experience of this. Now, each disability, cerebral palsy included, has different iterations. Cerebral palsy, for example, can look like a person who uses a wheelchair, a person who uses a wheelchair full-time or part-time or on an as-needed basis. It could look like someone who uses a walker. It could look like someone who uses a cane. It could look like someone who uses a brace that's either built in to their shoes, or it could be something that is directly strapped to the person's legs or leg, and it just slides into the shoe. Or the person could use no devices at all. In my case, I've used built-in braces before, but I don't now. I use orthotics in my shoes that slide in and out, and those orthotics only tend to go in my tennis shoes. If I'm wearing something else, I just go without. Now, what does that mean for my particular disability? And why does it matter to say that the condition is not progressive, but to include the caveat that our bodies do change, that they do deteriorate. So I'll put it to you simply. Growing up, I used to fall all the time. So much so that I learned how to fall. I learned how to fall so that I didn't hurt myself nearly as badly as I would have had I just not paid attention at all. And I would laugh at those moments, and I would catch my breath, pick myself up, dust myself off, and go run off and continue doing whatever I was doing. That was in elementary and middle school. In high school, I broke a bone for the first time. I did the thing that no one is supposed to do, and I ran on a pool deck, and I slipped, and I fell, and I broke a finger on the edge of the pool. It's the only bone I've ever broken. But instead of laughing, I got up and I looked at my hand and I said, "Aye." And, there's not much you can do for a broken finger, so it was just splinted for a little while. But, yeah. See that ring finger? It never healed. And actually, my wedding rings don't currently fit on it, which is sad. Anyway, fast forward about 13 years to last year. 14 years, I guess. Tom and Ricky and I were walking down the sidewalk one summer day, and my foot got stuck in between two slabs of concrete that weren't flat, and I tripped. I fell on my face and on my knees, and I only got a few tiny scrapes, but my knees were so sore, my wrists were scraped up a little bit, and it hurt. I sat there, and then I laid there, and I cried, and funny enough, we were at the county fairgrounds, and my 1.5-year-old at the time wanted to go see the animals, and I encouraged my husband to take him and play while I sat where I was, caught my breath, and waited for the ice that someone had offered to get me after they saw my fall. And so, yeah, it hurts like crazy now when I fall. Even though I still fall correctly, my body is not the same at 32 as it was when I was 13. I simply don't react to the same situations in the same way, emotionally, mentally, but most importantly, physically in this situation. My pain tolerance isn't what it was. So in some sense, it can feel like my CP has progressed because I react so differently and my body reacts so differently when I hurt myself. Even though the brain injury I incurred at birth has not changed. The same injury that occurred that day in 1988 is the same as it was. But the rest of me has changed a lot. So yeah, I just wanted to share those thoughts with you. And I will also link the original article down below. Please comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any questions about what it's like to have CP, what it's like to feel like your condition is progressive, even though technically it's not, or if you have a condition of your own. Is it progressive? Is it not? Does it feel like it's progressive even though technically medically it's not? And of course, as always, click the like or the dislike if you weren't crazy about the video. Tell me your thoughts, subscribe to the videos, to my channel, and click the notification button so you know when a video goes up. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the regular scheduled video next week.